Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to break down gold, current price action on gold, what I think it's going to do, where I think it's going to go, and the potential future for gold. So, and then after that we'll do a nice psychology breakdown that I will post into the private mentorship. Also go over a few other things that I think are really important on how you can spot choppy markets. So, first of all, as we already know, gold's had this huge run over the last, 4 years, basically. 4 years of just relentless buying, okay? Literally just relentless, base after base, continuation higher. And, this price action is a trader's dream. But yeah, we've come to the end of that cycle now. So I expect probably from here, let's just show you something. So gold previously has these huge runs. So we have one here. So from 2002 all the way to 2011. So it had this huge run, okay? Now, what generally happens, if I draw it for you here, is, after these huge runs, where we have these huge expansions over years and years and years. Yeah, so we have, multiple bases, base 1, base 2, base 3, base 4, and then, you might have a huge expansion. Yeah? What generally happens is, well, this is what I've noticed, okay? So, we've had this massive push on gold. Now, what's happening now is we have all this current news with Iran and USA. So what's currently happening now is we're seeing a lot of people posting about how gold's the safe haven, inflation because of oil's going up, so inflation's going to go up, so everyone needs to protect their money, everyone needs to buy gold now. So what happens is after this huge expansion we have a leg down, yeah, and it's not a deep correction. Like if we look where we are now, it's not a deep correction. We've just had a 25% pullback. Okay? And because everyone's been trained now, because of this constant dip buying and continuation, dip buying, continuation, dip buying, continuation. However, the cycle's over now. Retail are now seeing this as, dip, buy, continuation. And what you probably have right now is a bunch of people buying here, expecting it to go up because of inflation, because of the war, when in reality, listen, it could go higher from here, but after this sort of run here, it's extremely probable that we probably chop around for a bit. So we're probably going to get this chop back and forward where, smart money is offloading their positions without completely dumping the chart. So obviously, as we're all aware, for every sell there needs to be a buy, and for every buy there needs to be a sell. So these hedge funds, institutional money, people with billions and billions of pounds that are trading this asset have to offload their position, okay? And they can't just offload it all at once. Or, their multiple positions, because they will have, multiple positions that they would have been in, buys and sells, okay? And these governments as well. So, what will be happening now is they will be offloading their positions, buying, selling, because they're going to have so many positions, right? They're going to have, hundreds of positions, and there's going to be different entities having positions. So, basically, what's happening now is a trade-off of people exiting the market. So what we expect to see probably here is some chop. Nobody really knows what it wants to do. It's going up, down, back and forward. And when they're finished offloading their positions, when smart money's finished offloading their positions, it might not be this long, we will most probably see some downside, okay? If we actually look at you know, just a simple one like the 200-week moving average. If we look at how far apart this is at the minute, yeah, this needs to catch up, and the only way for this to catch up is for price to chop or for us to continue lower. So for gold at the minute, you know, it's either shorts down to the 4,000 region like we spoke about before, because we've got this base cycle starting now. We've got a base 1 here, you know, a fast base, or it's completely a void until it goes through whatever distribution or accumulation, because remember, it can actually chop. This MA can catch up, and then we can continue higher. So I'm not saying it's, you know, a definite that we come lower, but at the minute, the most probable outcome is probably chop and take this low. Okay, so 4K for gold is the target, and if you're watching it, short positions all day long, or completely avoid. So we actually did speak about oil in one of the last videos, and we said, you know, if you get a push above the MAs and a bit sideways, we expect continuation to take the new high. As you can see, we've broke back above the 20, got some sideways, expecting it to continue. Okay, nothing new, nothing different to what we said. You know, I'm not some fucking genie that has a crystal ball and can predict price. I'm just following base theory, you know, and I'm just following what price is doing. Okay, base 2, this is a weekly base 2. What do we expect? When we're in an uptrend, price seeks the next high. Okay, we're in an uptrend, price is seeking the next high. So we expect continuation until it's proven otherwise. Right, what other markets should we have a little look at? Just for a little quick breakdown. Let's go over. New crypto pairs. Crypto at the minute, we spoke about. Bitcoin, if we lose the 20, we're shorting. Altcoins all look terrible, below the MAs, unless it gets some nice strength above the MA. Nothing to do on Tau. Tau probably is gonna go whoop. And I actually did speak about this anyway in a previous video. XRP, yeah, dog shit. Dog shit. Oh, and also the same for silver. So, you know, silver will continue down as well. Ah, this is what I was going to say. Right. So, a little hack for you guys, okay? So, say for example, you're not sure if your market's choppy and you're unsure what bias it is in. This little trick, so what we'll do is we will go to start new, we will go to randomize bar. So, oh, it's 1987, we don't want to be about that far. Let's go to a different pair, let's go to NQ, 4 hour. Right, so we go here, replay, random. Now, what we're going to do, if you're ever unsure, right, of what trend you're in, first of all, if you're unsure, you shouldn't be trading it, okay? But if you're trying to understand on how to learn and understand what trend we're in, what I would simply do is I'll get the path tool and, you know, look left slightly, you know, maybe, you know, sort of this far, and draw out where we are like this. Draw the major swings and the major lows as we teach per in our group, and then just take it, put it there, and as you can see, uptrend. Okay, this is showing you what actual trend we're in if you can't see it properly. So, for example, here, if we go here, and we go from probably about here. Now if I take this and put this here, does this look clean? No, it doesn't. It looks choppy. So straight away I know this market at this moment in time is, you know, a void. Because it might not always be as clear to you, because the MAs are sloping up, you know, sloping down. So you might think, oh, we're actually bullish, but we're not, you know. When in reality, if you sort of go back slightly and draw it out with the path tool, you will see what sort of range we're actually in, and if we're in a sideways market or not. So that's something that could be helpful. But like I said, generally, if you're confused about the market, you shouldn't be trading it. You know, obviously in some of them you can see that they're extremely clear. But, you know, this path tool might be useful to keep you out of, you know, some of this sort of chop here. And then, you know, when it starts making this new high, you could take that as a breakage structure out of this chop and then continue higher, you know. So yeah, that is that. So gold shorts, Bitcoin, nothing to do unless we, you know, if we break the MAs here, then we're going for the low. Oil longs, QQQ, just expecting probably a pullback to the 20 or the 10. You know, if we can hold one of the MAs, then continuation. So, you know, we've had this huge push. We want to see it sort of pull back to 26,000 and hold the MAs here. And this needs to be clean as well. I don't want it to be wicky, you know, like this, like just wicky dog shit. It needs to be clean, solid candles, not very many wicks. Alright, lovely. So, we'll carry on, guys, in the private mentorship. So, what I'm